The National Music Centre has put together an exhibit celebrating the Beatles' 8 Canadian stops from 1964 to 1966. In that time, they played in Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal. A Calgary man who grew up in Toronto went to one of those concerts at Maple Leaf Gardens when he was just 11 years old. It's a fond memory that he's been able to relive at this exhibit. Here's Kevin Fleming.
Help, I need somebody help, not just anybody help.
This was his favorite Beatles song when he was 11 years old growing up in Toronto. Back then, he was independent, so much so that he and his 13-year-old stepsister went to the Maple Leaf Gardens by themselves to buy tickets for the Beatles concert.
And we took Toronto Transit down to Maple Leaf Gardens and we negotiated with a scalper and we bought our tickets. The ticket had a face value of $5.50. I think we paid around $12. And we saw the Beatles.
And he still has that ticket stub. Like many fans back then, Carr's room had all kinds of Beatles collectibles, and he's kept some today.
The Beatles did what you would call like baseball cards or hockey cards. They did Beatles cards, so I have those. And when Hard Day's Night came out, which of course was in black and white, some of the cards are in black and white, and then as they moved on, some of them are in color.
The National Music Centre created an exhibit called From Me to You, the Beatles in Canada. It opened in July last year and has been extended to the middle of May.
We worked closely with Piers Hemmingson, who is by far the Canadian authority on the Beatles. And we worked with him and he wrote the copy, and then we put the whole exhibition together design-wise.
Jesse Moffat says a Beatles concert only lasted about a half an hour, and most of the fans never heard them play because everyone was screaming non-stop. Parts of the exhibit are interactive, where people can write down anything about the Beatles that relates to them.
There's so many stories and it transcends generations. So you've got, one of my favorites is my grandmother dated Ringo Starr, right? Wasn't that fun?
The exhibit is a tribute to Beatlemania, along with the impact the Fab Four had in Canada. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
So once again, if you haven't seen it, that Beatles in Canada exhibit at the National Music Centre has been extended to May 19th. We posted a link to the exhibit on our website.